Friday night at 11, a psychiatrist becomes obsessed with a beautiful woman suspected of murdering one of his patients.
Do you think I killed him?
You're going to end up in a lot of trouble if you don't get yourself killed first.
Oh, you're the only one who knew about it.
Now he finds that he, too, is marked for death.
If you're not going to the police, why are you getting mixed up in this?
What I got to do?
Roy Scheider and Meryl Streep star in Still of the Night. Friday night at 11, here on 13. It takes more than police to fight crime, and Texans Take Charge invites you and your family to learn how to avoid becoming victims of crime in the Texans Take Charge Expo, June 20th and 21st at the George R. Brown Convention Center. There'll be exhibits on the newest security services and products for your home, auto, office, and more, plus workshops and seminars on personal safety and all types of crime prevention. Proceeds go to the Texas Hearing Dogs for the hearing and mobility impaired. The Houston Chronicle, Houston Police Department, and Channel 13 are proud sponsors. Call 558-4888 for more information.
I'm Don Nelson, a Houston surgeon whose practice is now targeting men through the sports pages. And are women in good hands when they visit male gynecologists? Next week on Good Morning Houston.
You're watching Channel 13, KTRK TV, Houston. Now, live at 5.
I won $10,000.
We kept looking at it, and we couldn't believe it at first. You know, we said, no, it can't be. And then we kept looking at it, and we said, it is.
The Texas Lottery off to a winning start as scores of Houstonians scratch and win their way into the history books. For the first time, the Lone Star State has a lottery in operation. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 5. I'm Shara Fryer.
And I'm Tom Cook. Alan and Melanie have the day off. The response for day one of the Texas Lottery has exceeded everyone's expectations.
According to state officials, almost 5 million tickets were sold across the state in just the first 4 hours.
Reporter Don Cobos has been up since the very first ticket was sold this morning. He is live now to tell us how things have been running all day. Still buying tickets, Don?
Oh, they still are. We're here at the Sun Food Market in West Houston, not far from Dairy Ashford, and they've sold 5,000 tickets at this small convenience store, which is right off of West Armour. The Sun Food Market, Mrs. Yen, who's behind the counter there, is telling us she couldn't believe that they sold this many. At 6 o'clock, they were at her door. In fact, 9 million tickets, according to John Sharp, have been sold in the first 9 hours, and they expect to go beyond the record that Florida set several years ago of over 20 million tickets in the first day of operations. We'll have more on that, of course, later on tonight. But those Texans who were interested in buying lottery tickets, and there were plenty of them, were up at the crack of dawn, and what they found out is after they bought their tickets, well, they couldn't get enough, and they kept on coming back for more and more.
Vicki Butler waited patiently at this convenience store in northwest Harris County as the hands of time reached 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when she stepped forward and was the first here to buy lottery tickets.
I'm buying it for birthday presents for my father.
Why'd you get here so early?
So I could get the first one.
And this is how it looked at most of the 15,000 licensed lottery outlets throughout the state. Even Governor Ann Richards got into the act just before 6 a.m. at the Polk Feed Store in Austin. By the way, she came up on the short end of her dollar chance. But that didn't stop thousands of others across Texas.
I service them 3 times a week. I'll be here buying them regular.
It's just 5 minutes after 6, and they've already sold 240 tickets here at this convenience store. Who said people weren't interested in the lottery in Texas? State officials estimate that 1 million tickets were sold every hour. At many of the 2,000 locations in Houston, extra employees were brought in to help with the rush. And within the first 90 minutes at this store, you couldn't count the tickets fast enough.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
What's the verdict?
Not.
A lot of it's good for Texas. This is real good for Texas.
I spent $20 and looks like I won 4. I guess I'll just play them back again too.
Oh, I think it's great. If people want to pay their taxes this way, I think it's wonderful. I think it'll help everybody out.
This is like the second one I bought today, and like the first one was 5 and this one was 20.
But you're not going to win money like this all the time, are you?
No, hopefully.
And some other people here are hoping that they win the big money. These people are scratching, as you can see right now. Did you win anything, ma'am?
Not yet. I'm trying.
Keep scratching. What about you?
She won $2 a couple times. I won.
Okay, excuse me. Here's a happy lottery ticket winner here. 32,000, in fact, people in the state of Texas won this morning by 10 o'clock.
most of those people getting $2 and $5 prizes as well as 10. The big money winners, of course, will be spoken about in a few minutes when Elma comes on with her report. They had a couple problems, however. Phone lines were down, and that slowed some of the process of validating some of these winners. And also they had problems with tickets not being delivered at a couple locations. But the tickets are here, and the machines are going at this Sun Food Market here in West Houston. At 6 o'clock, we'll be back with a story about a most unlikely place that people were buying lottery tickets today. Reporting live from West Houston, Don Cobos, 13 Eyewitness News.
The big winners didn't waste any time this morning claiming their lottery ticket money. The Houston Claim Center was packed on and off throughout the day. That's the place where the big-time winners get their money. By mid-afternoon, 6 $1,000 winners had come to claim their prizes and 3 $10,000 winners. Petra Anguiano was the first $10,000 winner in Houston and in Texas. She said at first she didn't realize she was a winner and threw her ticket in the trash.
I tell my boy, I don't believe it. I don't want to say yes because maybe I'm too happy and coming here say no, you know. And well, I'm happy.
What do you think of it? Miss Anguiano says she plans to use most of the money to pay for her daughter's wedding in Mexico, and the rest she'll use to pay bills.
Well, as of late this afternoon in all, Texas now has 8 happy players who have won that $10,000 prize. 5 of them here in the Houston area. We got lucky soil. Elma Barrera is standing by live at the Lottery Claim Center now with one such winner. Elma?
Exactly, and David Rojas is here with me, and he won earlier today. Now, we want to know everything about you. Now, I talked to David a little earlier, and his hands were shaking. You know, he was still a little nervous. Are you as nervous right now?
I've calmed down a little bit, but I'm still a little nervous.
Now, I want to hear you say it. I won $10,000.
I won $10,000.
You're a student at the University of Houston. What are you going to do with your money?
I'm going to pay some bills, spend a little, and save some more.
Well, now, earlier on you said you're going to spend most of it. You're going to blow most of it on women and et cetera. Is that true? There's a lot of women out here waiting for you.
No. I'm just going to go out and have a good time.
For a day, for a week, or for a year?
For a couple of months.
Yeah, and then?
And then settle down and hopefully gain some interest on it or something.
And you're a senior and you're about to graduate.
Yes, I am.
So school is almost paid for?
Yeah, school is already paid for.
And you have a new car?
I have a new car.
So the rest?
The rest is going to be spent.
David, did you ever think that you would win this?
No, I was hoping to win maybe some small prize, but I didn't count on this big a prize.
Now tell me what your first reaction was when you first scratched.
I scratched 4 off and they were all different. Then I scratched 1 more and it matched the 10,000. I said I need 1 more 10,000, and I scratched it and I was scratching from the end and I saw 0, 0, and I saw that last 0 and that 1 in front of it, and I just surprised, completely shocked and happy. Totally happy.
Very good. Thanks a whole lot, David. And we will be back at 6 o'clock with more of those big-time winners. Reporting live, I'm Elma Barrera, 13 Eyewitness News.
The crooks are betting today, too, that they could beat the cops, but it didn't work. A high-speed chase through far southwest Houston ended this afternoon and ended what police believe could have been an all-day robbery spree by 2 suspects. With the guns drawn, police combed the neighborhood just off South Post Oak near the Beltway. One suspect was found hiding in a garage. His partner was found just a few minutes later hiding in a relative's home.
He went over and made forced entry into his aunt's house and went inside, took off his clothes and made himself at home.
The chase started when an undercover officer in an unmarked car observed the 2 suspects, and one of them pulled a gun on the officer. The cops followed, calling for backup. The chase led down this dead-end street, and the 2 suspects jumped out and started running. They threw their weapons on the ground, which police later recovered, along with bulletproof vests. The suspects left behind what police say is a stolen car filled with loot. Both suspects were taken into custody and not a single shot was fired.
A defense attorney testified today that his life was threatened by convicted capital murder Spencer Corey Goodman. Attorney Jerry Gearnow was called as a rebuttal witness in the sentencing phase of Goodman's trial. Gearnow said that he was visiting a suspect in a holding cell where Goodman was also being held last January. Gearnow said that Goodman asked him if he knew who he was, and the attorney replied, "Yes, you were the guy who broke that poor little old lady's neck." Gearnow says that Goodman then replied, "Hang around and I'll break your neck too." Goodman's own father and a female relative are testifying against him late this afternoon, and Liz Exon will have details on Eyewitness News at 6.
A Houston woman now on death row for a double axe murder has an execution date next month. 32-year-old Carla Tucker was convicted in the 1983 gruesome pickaxe murders of her former boyfriend, Jerry Lean Dean, and a female companion. Both were found beaten and hacked to death in Dean's apartment. Authorities say Tucker hated Dean and killed his companion because she had witnessed the crime. Today, a judge ordered Tucker to die by lethal injection on June 30th. She will be the first woman ever executed in the state of Texas.
Harris County arson investigators have arrested 2 men for burglarizing what folks are calling a Huff Smith landmark and then setting it on fire. Last week, that tiny town in far north Harris County lost both its grocery store and post office in the blaze. The arrest brings some relief to the store's owner, but not much, as Ben Wilson explains.
When flames burned this store down, they destroyed more than just a place to buy groceries. Wyrick's store was also the community's post office, where folks got their Social Security checks. Harris County arson investigators say the fire was deliberately set by burglars who lived in the area. This morning, one suspect was arrested at his grandmother's house only a couple of blocks down the road.
Get your hands up, Rick. Get them up. Get on the wall right here. Get on. Don't move.
Authorities have charged 19-year-old Darrell Taylor with 1 count of burglary and 1 count of arson. Yesterday, 19-year-old Carl Lester Preston was taken into custody on the same charges, while the search for 17-year-old Stephen Daniels continues.
The people in the neighborhood got involved, and that's the only way you make a lot of cases is people make the difference. This fire not only hurt an individual, the store owner and so forth, but it hurt a whole community.
I don't like what happened. I'm very angry at the ones that done it, but I'm not angry at everybody back here because there's a lot of good people back here.
Wyrick, who lost his wife in January, now has to contend with another of life's blows, that of making a living. Today, though, he's concerned about keeping that sagging roof from falling down. Of course, he'd rather be minding the store. Wyrick says when this store burned down, about $75,000 in property also went up in smoke. But that's in the past now. He has no insurance and no plans to rebuild.
Well, I got a little Social Security, so I'll have to try to go on it. Try to make it on it.
Think it'll be enough?
Well, I hope so. I don't know.
The folks in Huff Smith owe a lot to Wyrick. We'll tell you why at 6. Ben Wilson, 13 Eyewitness News.
A group of volunteers began patrolling the halls of some HISD schools today, looking for trouble. More than 100 ministers went to the school today. Their assignment? To walk the halls of 50 Houston senior high and middle schools. The ministers will be serving as peacekeepers in an effort to curtail any fights or other problems that often erupt just before the summer break.
They thought it'd be wise to have a group of ministers around on the campus, walking the hall, to kind of help keep peace on every hand.
The ministers will patrol the halls until the last day of school next Wednesday. This is the second year for this last day of school project to be in effect.
Another case of school vandalism with racial overtones is being investigated, this one at Jersey Village High School in the Cy-Fair School District. That incident was apparently inspired by a similar one this week at a Memorial area school, and Deborah Wrigley reports.
I'm glad I'm getting the hell out of here.
It was a bad note on which to end a good school year. Racial graffiti painted on the front of Jersey Village High. Seniors had to pass it on their way to the class breakfast.
They just want to upset people so they can fight on the last day of school because, it didn't really happen in the school year.
Like the same thing happened at Spring Woods, Man, this don't make no sense.
Most of the students helped clean up the stuff. So it looks a lot better now, and hopefully next year this won't happen.
If there is a positive element to so unfortunate an incident, it's that students both cleaned up the graffiti and condemned the act. Alan Meek is the head principal.
Our student body traditionally has got along beautifully, just beautifully together, and still are. And I'm not sure that these 1 or 2 young people that came up to do that did not even bring us closer together.
The suspected vandals may be underclassmen. Only a couple may have been involved, and when they're found,
we will take the actions that are outlined in our code of conduct, and plus we will also file charges on these young people through the public sector.
Translation, expulsion, and criminal charges. Meanwhile, Jersey Village seniors graduate tonight. From Jersey Village, Deborah Wrigley, 13 Eyewitness News.
Well, campaign style, Texas billionaire Ross Perot tries something new, high-tech.
We all watched them chasing a moving satellite through space, but what was it really like for the crew? We'll find out.
Here you see Pierre.